Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So today I have some news for you regarding RWBY, and it is that Joel Mann is the new animation director for RWBY. So I want to actually just kind of go into this, talk about it a little bit, and explain what this could actually mean for the series. So sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and jump right on into the news. So we need to congratulate Joel Mann for actually making it as the animation director for RWBY, and this actually means a lot for this series. And one thing I want to say about Joel Mann, first off, before we start, he is actually known for some pretty important fights in RWBY. Now, I've talked about this a bit before, but I'm going to just talk to you all about it again for those of you who may have missed out on it or may not have heard. But what Joel Mann had done previously, he's done the Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury fight versus Amber. He also did RWBY's Volume 4 prologue fight. He did the Cinder versus Raven fight and the Crow versus Tyrion fight. They were all done by Joel Mann. Now, of course, some of the fights post Volume 3 have had some issues because after Volume 3, when Volume 4 hit, of course, the animation started to get a bit sluggish and with this weird levitation and some weird things that actually went on about it. But Joel Mann, he has done some very good works. And not only this, but Joel Mann was, and it still is, the lead animator for RWBY. And he worked directly with Monty starting back in Volume 2. So he has had a long track record of working with RWBY. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to know, and that's a good thing to look at. And considering that when we look at Joel Mann's stuff, some of the things that he's done, because I'm sure you can sit here and say that when you looked at the fight with Cinder, Emerald, Mercury versus Amber, I know that that was a good fight. I personally myself really enjoyed that fight. I thought it was a very good fight, and obviously the choreography was done very well, because one big problem that has been going on for RWBY for quite some time now is the animators have not had their freedom. They've had Miles and Carrie work over them and tell them how to do their job when they need to be able to do it themselves. Now, I've talked about this before, but I'm bringing this up for this situation because it has a lot to do with the weight of the situation at hand. And with Joel Mann actually being in charge of things now, I actually think this is personally a very good thing, because when it comes down to the animation, one thing that a lot of people consider and tell you when it comes to RWBY, that they themselves, what made you more than likely get into RWBY? Probably the fight choreography, probably that animation, and it's a very beautiful thing. And yes, I've talked about the visuals, I've talked about how they look nice and all and everything, but realistically, it's the choreography that's been a problem. And when we look at it, when we look back at Volume 1 through 3, the choreography looked good. It looked very well, and you could tell that the characters are making poses or postures that would make sense to how they actually acted or would actually pose, because in real life, that's how you have to take choreography. You have to look at it. You have to look at how a person would really be walking or posed or standing whenever it comes to doing these sort of things. And when a character actually goes out of this, it doesn't seem right at all. It just looks weird, because when you take a human character, take a note, human character, and you try to make them pose weird or makes them look like they're some kind of troll that came out of a basement or something, it's very strange. It's not normal for these positionings to actually be like this, because look at other anime, for example. Does their choreography look strange? Well, it depends on the animation, but typically a lot of them do very well on making the choreography look like it would be how a real person's body would react. Now, of course, the other thing about this is, the one thing that's really gotten us into RWBY, or at least myself, and I'm pretty certain a lot of you watching this understand this, the one thing that had gotten a lot of people into RWBY was the fight choreography, because the characters had superhuman speeds, way beyond that of a normal person. They had superhuman strength, way beyond that of a normal human would. And of course, this is a fictional universe, and to change it the way Miles and Carrie wanted to change it to make it more cinematic, it creates an inconsistent flow upon the choreography. And some things that happened, which obviously we did get to see, was there was a lot of slower action. A lot of the characters got nerfed, and I've talked about that too. And the thing is, the animators themselves, without being able to do what they want to do, without being able to freely work, which is their jobs, they can't do it the way it was supposed to be done if two people, or more than that even, are sitting over here and saying, hey, look, I think this is the right way to do things, even though they don't understand choreography. And the thing is that Joel Mann himself, he is confirmed to have been seen. It has been proven by these fights that he understands choreography. He certainly understands what these fights are made of. He certainly understands all the way back since Volume 2 when he'd been working with Monty what these animated fights were all about. He understood it. He tries to keep the rule of cool that Monty believed in. And what you have to understand here is that he's got experience. He is obviously an animator. He knows what he's doing. And for an animator to have their job be told by somebody to not know what to do, it's a problem. But here's where this could be a very good thing for RWBY. Since Joel Mann now has the new animation director spot, since he is now in that position, I think that he will do a lot better for the animation of the series continuing onward. I mean, yes, Volume 5 will forever be known as those hardships of animation, those very bad times. I guess you could say that those were the darkest of times when it comes to RWBY's animation. But the good thing here is that Joel Mann could correct this. He has the complete potential to completely change everything. He has this potential as an animator to make things right, and he may actually allow the animators to have more freedom, in which I think he will. And I have a lot of hope that this will work out, that this will change and be better than what Miles and Carrie wanted this to be. Because being more cinematic, that's not what RWBY needs. And we definitely saw this. I mean, the best fight in Volume 5, I think everybody, or at least majority of us, can say, is that Raven and Cinder was the best fight realistically in Volume 5. It was the best because it felt very fluid. It felt very close to what the original fights back in Volumes 1 through 3 have been like. It has felt very close and very similar to what that once was. That is what we love. We love the original fights. I think Joel Mann understands this, considering that this fight really proved that he's going back on to what it used to be. And another thing about this is, yes, there were a couple of errors within this fight alone, considering that Vernal's body randomly disappeared in the background during the fight. That's kind of strange that that randomly happened, that Vernal's body just disappeared. That's a weird thing, as well as when Cinder's aura was blinking, obviously her arm as well, if you pay attention, it actually had aura on it. Doesn't make sense. But when we look at it, we don't need to have another fight of Haven ever again. We don't need to have a battle of Haven all over again. We need to have more of what was old, the rule of cool as Monty believed in, and Joel Mann seems to really believe in this. And what I think this could do, I have high hopes. I am at a 90% level of hopes for Joel Mann here, because I think that he will set things right, that he will go back to the way it originally was towards Volumes 1 through 3. I think he will try to go back to that style. And yes, there are a lot of people who say Monty's godly style can never be copied or mimicked. Well, I don't necessarily believe that, because I think these animators have talent. I think they have a lot of talent, and now hopefully they'll have more freedoms. And this is the one thing that the animators have really needed, was this freedom to be able to work however they need to. Because allowing these animators to do their jobs the way they know how, this will allow them to do better than what we saw in Volume 5. And yes, Volume 4 had its problems as well, but Volume 5 had worse animation problems, for certain. And I personally think this will be something that Joel Mann can fix. I think that he, as well as the animation staff, with him allowing them to have more freedoms, if that's what he does, in which I think he will. I have faith that he is going to actually allow the animation staff to do their jobs. And with him understanding choreography the way that he does, I think that we're going to get better animation at least. Does that say for the writing? No, that's more on the writer's half. But at least the animation staff can make things look better. So at least we certainly have one positive to come out of this, and that is the fact that Joel Mann is now the new animation director, and that I think things will be looking more up for the animation, because it really needs to, because he understands choreography. This is his job. He knows what he's doing. So congratulations, Joel Mann, on this new position, and we hope the best for you in the series as well. Well, anyways, let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.